There's nothing worse, right? That little check engine light pops up on your dash, and it's just this instant mystery that can totally wreck your day. But today, we're going to demystify one of the most common codes that shows up on Nissans, and I'm going to show you why the fix is usually way easier than you think.
So, if that light is staring you down and your car just isn't feeling right, then you have absolutely come to the right place. We are about to turn that feeling of frustration into a feeling of confidence.
And hey, let me ask you, does any of this sound familiar? Your car feels like it has no power, it kind of hesitates when you hit the gas, it's idling all rough, or maybe it's just guzzling gas like crazy. Yep, those are the classic telltale signs of the exact problem we're going to solve today.
All right, let's play detective here. That check engine light, it's not just there to annoy you. It's actually the very first clue your car is handing you to start the investigation.
And look, you've already taken the most important first step. You've plugged in an OBD2 scanner, and bam, it spit out this code, P0101. That little code right there is our key to cracking this whole case.
So, what in the world is a P0101 code anyway? Let's translate this bit of car talk into plain English that actually makes sense. Okay, so the super technical name is mass or volume airflow A circuit range/performance. Yeah, I know. All that really means is that your car's brain is confused. It's getting some weird numbers about the air coming into the engine, numbers that just don't add up, so it throws up a red flag.
Here's the best way to think about it. The part we're talking about, the mass airflow sensor, or MAF sensor for short, it's basically the engine's air traffic controller. Its one and only job is to measure exactly how much air is flying into the engine at all times.
And you know what happens at an airport if the air traffic controller messes up, right? Total chaos. It's the same thing in your engine. If that sensor gives bad info, the computer can't figure out the perfect mix of air and fuel. And when that mix is wrong, well, that's exactly why you're feeling that lack of power, the rough idle, and all that other stuff.
So now that we know what the car is trying to tell us, our investigation can really get started. It's time to line up the usual suspects that are causing this problem.
You know, in any good detective story, you always go after the number one suspect first. And believe me, in almost every single P0101 case, the culprit is something incredibly common.
And that number one suspect is just a dirty mass airflow sensor. Seriously. Over time, all this tiny gunk, dust, oil mist, you name it, builds up on the sensor's delicate little wires. That gunk acts like a blanket, and the sensor just can't read the airflow correctly anymore.
Now, a dirty sensor is our prime suspect, for sure, but we do have a whole lineup of other possibilities to consider. We could be looking at an air leak somewhere after the sensor, maybe a cracked intake hose, a ridiculously clogged air filter, maybe some bad wiring, or, and this is pretty rare, the sensor itself just plain died.
So how do we nail the actual bad guy here? Look, you don't need to be a pro mechanic for this. You just need a solid game plan, and that's exactly what I'm about to give you. We're going to start with the easiest stuff first to save you time and headaches.
All right, here it is, your 4-step plan of attack. We're going to inspect for air leaks, check the air filter, then clean the MAF sensor, and finally, examine the wiring. Sticking to this order is the key, because we're going to rule out all the simple, free stuff first. Okay, first up, pop the hood. All you have to do is look. See that big black tube that runs from your air filter box to the engine? Just follow it with your eyes and hands. See any obvious cracks or tears? Are the clamps on it nice and tight? Any air that sneaks in after the sensor has already measured it will throw this code. It's a classic. All right, if you didn't find any leaks, it's time for the most common fix, cleaning the sensor. Now listen up, because this part is super important. You have to use a spray cleaner that is made specifically for MAF sensors. Do not even think about using brake cleaner or carb cleaner. It will destroy the sensor instantly. Give the little wires inside about 10 to 15 good sprays, let it air dry completely, and please, whatever you do, do not touch or wipe those delicate wires. Just let the spray do its job. So, once it's dry, you'll pop it back in, use your scanner to clear the code, and take the car for a drive. For many of you, that's it. Case closed. But what if that pesky light comes back on? Let's cover the final steps. So you did everything by the book, right? You checked for leaks, the air filter looks good, you carefully cleaned the MAF sensor, and then, a day or two later, that dreaded light is back. So what now? Well, if you are 100% sure you've ruled out all those other simple causes, then it's very likely the sensor itself has just failed internally. It's toast.
At this point, the only fix left is to replace it with a new one.
And when you go to buy that new sensor, here's a pro tip. Nissan vehicles are notoriously picky about their MAF sensors. The computer is just programmed very specifically. To avoid having this same problem pop up again with a cheap aftermarket part, it is highly recommended that you use a genuine Nissan part or a top-quality OEM equivalent. It'll save you a huge headache.
So, look, the big takeaway from all this is simple. Start with the easy stuff first. Don't immediately jump to the worst-case scenario. The vast majority of the time, this entire problem, from the warning light to the poor performance, can be solved right in your driveway with a simple visual check and a $10 can of MAF sensor cleaner.
And just like that, you went from having a frustrating problem to understanding the cause and knowing the solution. You've decoded what your car was trying to tell you. It's pretty cool, right? It just makes you wonder, now that you've cracked this case, what's the next car mystery you can tackle?